I'm Debbie. I'm sure many of you know me. So today I'm going to tell you how Center of Unity made me better. I moved to the fair city of Grapevine in the summer of 1999 to be nearer my family. My son's family, my mom in Granbury, and my dad in Abilene. I moved here all the way from the Far East, Rowlett on Lake Ray Hubbard. My husband of 30 years and I had just built a brand new home there in 1995. We had raised our two sons in Mesquite, and the nest was empty. But before we could finish the new house, he was diagnosed with serious cancer. He survived another year and a half and made his transition in March of 1997. So a couple of years later, I decided to sell the new house and move west where I found support from family, but with no life partner. From 2000 to 2005, there were more losses and health challenges in my family. So while I was trying to get through daily life, commuting to work in downtown Dallas and supporting those other family members, it was difficult to make friends and meet new people in my new hometown. I tried volunteering at civic events and thought about joining a church, but I knew the traditional church was just not a fit for me. You see, I knew what I didn't believe, but I didn't really know what I did believe. So probably around 2002, I was at one of those civic events, and the person that sat next to me at dinner was Reverend Carol Record and her husband, Mike. In the conversation, she told me that she was the minister of Unity Church in Grapevine. I had heard of Unity, but I didn't know anything about it. So thanks to the worldwide interwebs, I queried Unity and what they believed. And I think what I discovered about the beliefs around Jesus was that he was a teacher, a way shower, and not really the Savior in a traditional way. That made me curious about knowing more. This was a way of thinking about Christianity very different than what I had learned in my Baptist upbringing, baptized at 12, and the Methodist church that I started going to as an adult, taking my children to. So I put it under my cap for a few months until I was ready to venture out. In January of 2003, I made a visit one Sunday to this church. The first thing I saw when I walked in the door was that little sign out there that says, "Free of judgment, full of love." Wow, that right there was a big points with me, because at that time, and sad to say there still is, there was a lot of judgmental stuff going around about churches splitting up because a person was this or that. And this message of free of judgment, full of love was music to my heart. And I remember that the words, "no political position," were also in Reverend Carol's message that day. So I continued coming to services for about a year, then decided to jump in and join a women's group where I met friends that are dear to me still this day, 20 years later. I attended classes to learn more about Unity beliefs. What this offered me during this time of recovery in my life was it gave me a community of prayer. It showed me new ideas about how I could get through life situations by receiving friendship and support. I began practicing gratitude and abundance, that I was born in God's love with the divine spark of Christ. I found community and grounding in my life with a more peaceful way of living, and that I could get through this time of life challenges by accepting the teachings of love, faith, and mind action. These friends and these beliefs saw me through a cancer diagnosis and treatment of my own in 2007. I believe that I made it through that healing challenge more peacefully than I would have in the past. I actually used a technique of denial to vision a cancer-free body. Now, I don't believe that losing my husband was a things happen for a reason moment. Thank you, Reverend Linda. But I'm not sure I would have ever found Unity if I had not moved to Grapevine and sat next to Reverend Carol at dinner that night, Things just have a way of falling into place when we heed the voice that tells us to move our feet. So the spiritual growth that I have experienced here at Center of Unity has given me joy from singing in the choir, worth in my volunteerism. I found my voice while serving on the board of directors a few years ago, and peace and satisfaction in a newfound opportunity to support friends and members of the community. Now, I'm still a work in progress when it comes to the current world of chaos and bad news, no matter how much I try to turn it off. And I'm really short when the online account I'm trying to access rejects my password. But what I've learned over these years is that I can stop, take 3 deep breaths and start over, or turn off the TV. Because I believe that the messages I've taken to heart of knowing God and the inner Christ is the best way to live a good life. Thank you.